All right. How's everybody doing? Hungry? All right. So my name is Dr. Juan Salinas, and I'm going to be the moderator for this awesome session. I am actually Star Trek by these guys. These are innovators. I think there's more than 130 years of experience here between all of us in terms of product innovation and development, which is pretty cool. And we have Chef Ali, I believe, online as well. Is she online? There she is. Can you say hi for us? Maybe we can work on the audio there. All right. Well, they work on the audio. I'm just going to introduce the session a little bit. So I have been in the food industry for over 30 years. And it's funny because I've been in the R&D side for a long time, working for a lot of the large food companies. But I'm an entrepreneur, and I developed my own brand. I have my own factory. So I kind of seen, a lot of the different areas of food. And I've seen a lot of trends come and go. And they were talking about trends before. I remember the fat-free trend, with Lestra. I remember all that stuff. I'm still stuck with fat-free stuff. But, there's a lot of sugar-free trends. Then now it's the keto and the grain-free, right? And so I'm always curious about what is the next thing, what's going to be big this year. And so earlier this year, I went to the Winter Fancy Food Show in Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys have attended that show, but it's a very popular show to introduce new products, and you kind of see where the trends are going in terms of food. I didn't see a lot of bean-based stuff, to be honest with you. Not to the point that we can say, okay, now beans is a trend. But I did see something pretty cool that I think, got me really excited. Because in the report from the organization and what I observed too, there are three major trends that are happening right now. One of them is plant protein, right? So it's including plant protein into every kind of product, from breads to snacks, bars, ramen, right? The other one is what they call third culture. I don't know why they call it third culture, but it's flavors around the world, right? So introducing new flavors from around the world into the United States. And then simple, plant-based. And that word simple is key because I think there's a lot of plant-based products out there that are being over-processed, simply. And people are want to go back to things that they understand.
Less is more. Less ingredients is
Less is more. And what is cool about this is if you think about it, plant protein, what's better than bean protein to be included in plant protein? And that's, the trend that is going on right now. Same thing with, flavors from around the world, right? We're talking about beans being used all around the world, and every country has its different, spin on how they make them. And then, simple, right? I had an idea once I was thinking about this of creating a brand called Simple Bean, the Simple Bean, so Simple Bean. So anyway, this is an awesome, this is going to be an awesome talk on how to get the beans in menus and on products and on shelves. So I'm going to introduce, this is myself. By the way, I was in Shark Tank about 2 years ago, and I got Mark Cuban to invest in his company. And the reason why he invested is because he loved the fact that we were using beans to make a snack, and it was delicious. So from the investor side of things, there's a lot of interest in bean products, which is great news. And also, our product, which is being handed out, I believe, is now being accepted in Whole Foods. It's now being sold in Sprouts, also in other groceries that are actually, kind of the trendsetters. Whole Foods is one of them. And so when they see a product that is made from beans and they want to put it into the shelves, that kind of gives us an idea where, that bean products are actually a good place to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Chef Ali introduce herself and then the rest of the panel here. So Chef Ali. Okay. So then, in the meantime, while we're working on it, we'll talk to Maggie.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today with everyone. So my path is always a little quirky, but I started as a food scientist, and I've been amazed since the beginning of what you could do with beans. So even in college, I went to a dairy college, made ice cream from soybeans, and early on in my career was probably one of 5 food developers across the globe that could do plant-based meat alternatives. And so I've over the years have really helped pioneer the plant-based industry in so many ways. One of the areas that was missing in a lot of the plant-based product development, and it's not getting quite the rap that it used to, but they are processed, but were never meant to be all-encompassing part of your diet. But as we did that, one of the places that were missing was really around ingredients. And so I have worked with large corporations all the way from on the ingredient side to make sure that we could build that pipeline and supply chain to make sure that we could deliver the next generation of innovative ingredients. And about 4 years ago, let me back up, about 10 years ago, started my plight towards beans and was very much rejected by the USDA because there wasn't an opportunity for beans and beans growth. So it's amazing to see this room full of people. 4 years ago, I launched my own brand, 8-Track Foods, and we're moving into the category of premium canned beans and have made some pretty significant strides. So thank you again for having me here.
Thank you, Maggie. Amelia?
Hi everyone. I'm Amelia Christie Miller. I'm the founder of Bold Bean Co. We are a brand on a mission to make you obsessed with beans by giving you the best of beans. My background, I spent years working with top London chefs and restaurants, and I was connecting them to farmers, growers, producers, and as you can imagine, both the chefs and the producers were incredibly inspiring. And from working in this space, I realized so many of the food system issues that we're facing, food security, the need to reduce meat, soil health, and of course, all those roads led me to beans because beans are the solution to so many of our issues, as everyone in the room knows. So I became bean obsessed, but I realized I was very alone. And so when COVID hit and I was made redundant from that role, I decided to put my love and passion for beans and launch a bean brand. And during that time, I recognized there were 2 main barriers to bean consumption from those that I would speak to. And the first was obviously the quality of the beans. They're a commodity product, and in the UK, there's a lot of beans that are just sold and produced as cheaply as possible, of course, because it's a commodity. And then the second thing is also the lack of inspiration of how to cook the beans. So from the get-go, I started an Instagram account, and I encourage you all to follow it. It's Bold Bean Co. And we were sharing Beanspo, which is inspiring bean recipes. And this, I recognize, was a huge way to get people to reimagine beans and see them beyond a chili con carne, beyond a 3-bean salad. And then a year later, we launched our jarred beans. We're nearly 3 years old in May, but we're already in major supermarkets in the UK, including Sainsbury's, Waitrose, Marks and Spencer. And what's really interesting is that I believe that actually the power of brand and our marketing has been hugely influential in driving a consumer change in the UK. It's happening initially at the top. We're working with foodie influencers and chefs because I believe this demographic can have the power to change our food culture. And it's trickled down, and we've seen 500% volume growth in the last year, and I think that really shows that something's changing, and I think the tide is turning. Last year, I launched a cookbook, Bold Beans, which is full of delicious bean recipes. There's a copy you can have a look at. But I'm really excited to be here. You know, it's amazing to be around so many people who share a passion for beans, and I just have so much faith that the future is beans, and we're all going to be able to drive that. And it's just lovely to be here.
Thank you. So, Michelle?
Well, my name is Michelle. I'm from Chile, South America. So my background, I'm biochemical engineers. I have 8 years of experience. I'm a young people, so I just have 8 years of experience, mainly related to the innovation for the food industry, and also understanding the different trends around the world and how we can produce new products related to these trends. In this moment, I lead the food science team for the Not company, or Notco we said. This is a food tech, a Chilean food tech. We try to reinvent the animal-based industry using only plants, right? So in this moment, we have presence obviously in Chile. Chile is the headquarters, but also we have presence in other countries as Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, US, and Canada. We produce in these countries too. We develop products related to mimic products, right? So why? What is the reason of this? I think that the final consumers always prefer the products that they know, right? So if you want to eat a burger, you prefer the animal burger, right? If you want to drink some milk, you prefer the animal milk. So in function of that, if we want to include these kind of products in the diet of everyone, we have to find a way to include effectively these kind of products in the diet of everyone. So in function of that, we are developing different products, as I said, related to imitate the animal products. I think that in this moment, we have a lot of products, or the most part of the products in Chile, related to burger, milk, and other products. As our company is called the Not Company, we said not milk and not burger, so you can find the products with that name. Also, you can find, for example, our products in Whole Foods in US or in some supermarkets here in Mexico or other countries. And yeah, I think that the idea always is understand how we can replicate these animal products, but also understanding how we can include a nutritional aspect and functional aspect in these products, right? If you want to take a nut milk and mix with your coffee, you can do this, because we are looking and we are research every day to find the specific way to obtain a mimic product, right? So you can take your nut milk with coffee and everything works good. You can take just like another milk, like a dairy milk, and if you buy a nut burger, you can prepare as very similar as you prepare the animal burger, and you can obtain the same texture, the same flavor, etc., related to the animal target, right? I think that it's important to understand that and how the business is moving around the world to include this kind of products also for the final consumer, right? I think that our challenge and my call for today to you is understand how we can include another kind of ingredients as the beans ingredients inside of these kind of products, right? Because if we want to increase and include more beans in the diet of the clients, also we have to find new ways to include it, right? In this moment, I think that the mainly challenge is find some plant-based proteins that can give us the same nutritional aspects, the same digestibility, the same opportunities in a nutritional way to the final consumer, right? If you want to take a burger for the protein, you want to find a better protein, a good protein that your body can absorb, right? So in function of that, I think that exists a big possibility to use the beans as a source of a good protein, a good fiber that we can include in our products, because in this moment, the number of suppliers is very limited, actually. mainly related to the plant-based products. You can find, I don't know, yellow peas proteins or soybean proteins, and that is the offer, right? I think that in this moment, the plant-based industry needs more suppliers, more ingredients that we can use in our products to develop better products, right? So I think that is my call for today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it's my turn. So hi everyone, I'm Jose. Most of you know me already. I'm one of the founders of Jolo Snacks, which is a healthy snack made with US dry beans and 100% real cacao. My professional background is related to the food agriculture mostly. I have more than 15 plus years of experience working with agriculture products. And I also represent the US Driving Council in Mercosur markets. So basically, I'm kind of the result of our own inspiration from our industry. So I'm pleased to be here and sharing this panel with you, all of you guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So if we don't have Chef Ali, well, they're still trying to figure that out. Maggie,
We're up.
I know I met you about 2 years ago, and I know you're being very humbly on your introduction. She's definitely a superstar. One thing that I remember when I first met you is that I think you were part of the initial formulation for the Impossible Burger, weren't you? So you were like right at the forefront of the plant-based movement in terms of what we see today as being a trend. So you have a lot of experience in product development, and you work as a consultant with a lot of companies. What are some of the biggest challenges that you are seeing, working with beans right now for new products?
That's a great question around the totality of the business. When we look at products and product formulation, as a formulator, I really want to go after, what's in my toolbox? How can I create the best product I have? And so you have to start with high quality ingredients. Well, the biggest challenge is right now where beans sit on the spectrum is there's not a lot of things in our toolbox to go forward. So if you look at an example of maybe a pea protein, when we started working on those, pea proteins were, didn't taste very good. They needed a lot of work. They were coming in pea form. We got them into flours. We moved them into concentrates, into isolates, and then cleaned up the flavor. So kind of backtracking, as a formulator, I like to look at the 3 F's of form, functionality, and flavor. And when I develop plant-based products, what I want to look at first is the form that we need the ingredient to be in. And right now, where beans sit, one of the biggest challenges are most of them are just simply dry beans. And they haven't really evolved beyond, there's a few bean flours, but they haven't evolved beyond what we can really take them to. And we know that we can start to take it into protein concentrates, which have a higher protein level, have a bit different functionality. And then we can start to move them into isolates like we did with other ingredients. So the form that we pick for beans is one of our greatest challenges right now. And I think I heard Michelle say that there is a call from the industry to say, we can't make better burgers, we can't make better chicken nuggets, we can't make better products unless we give some value add to the ingredients that are already existing. Obviously, I own a canned bean company. I do believe there's a lot of power in pushing the whole bean, but we do need to take it, rise it to the next level. The other area that I think is really a challenge with bean ingredients is the knowledge base around the technical side. Not all beans are created equal. And as a scientist, it's really frustrating to start with an ingredient that you don't know very well. And you don't know what the gelation temperature is. You don't know how it's going to perform. Is it going to can? How is it going to react to salt? How is it going to react to calcium? How is it going to react under heat? All of these things are very large gaps in the bean industry and a place for completely revolutionizing how we can take beans to the next level. And then the third aspect, or the third F, is around flavor. The flavor of beans, can be off-putting to some. There are a lot of technical ways that we can overcome that. However, when probably most people in this room have had the reaction, and I could probably kill a conversation just by saying, I own a canned bean company. And people just look at me like, is she joking? So with flavor, I think there's a reaction to beans that are just around not fully understanding what we can do with them. And so if we can take them to the next level and give beans in different ways, whether it's through tortillas or puffs or burgers or chocolate enrobed, there are ways to level it up. Obviously, I sit with Amelia in my heart. I believe there's a lot of ways that we can bring whole beans to the menu. So overall, I think there's a lot of challenges in developing with products. I think some of the greatest potential is here too. We have a way to make a giant roadmap for other product formulators to build their portfolio of ingredients, shall I say, and drive the next level of innovation around beans and bean forms.
No, thank you. I think I could relate to that as well, because that's sort of one of the things that stopped me from doing more innovation around my brand, is the availability of different beans. And I would like to have other beans in the grind and pre-cooked form, how I use them, but unfortunately they're not available. So that's something that I think the bean industry as a whole, that's an opportunity there to kind of talk to innovators like us and to try to figure out, okay, what is the next thing and how can we work together to create those new ingredients. Amelia, so by the way, these guys have their products on the shelves out there. If you haven't walked through it, you can check them out. The 8-track canned beans. Amelia has beans on a jar, which I thought was very interesting. And I had a lot of questions when I talked to her first about it, because I was like, it's just beans in a jar. How cool, but at the same time, it's like how simple, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that? And what is your marketing approach, to be able to successfully sell beans in a jar?
Yeah, great question. Firstly, to disrupt shelf space, I'm very interested in how brands disrupt, and packaging is a really great way of standing out. So the jars served a really great purpose at kind of elevating it, making it feel premium. There isn't a great reputation in the UK, at least, for canned food. It's kind of considered wartime era-esque. So by a shift away from that, by standing out on shelf, it was kind of eye-catching. And because it's really hard to premiumize a commodity product because people are so skeptical. And I would say how we've, effectively done that, which, we're going into in more depth tomorrow in the workshop, but is a lot through social media and influencer marketing and engaging influencers. We have gifted a lot of product to influencers. And sure enough, influencers, if you think about what they need to do every day, they're thinking, I need to do a recipe. They open their cupboard, they've been gifted some bold beans, and they'll think, maybe I'll do something with beans. So even if they're not mentioning us or whatever, they're using beans, but that gift to those people creating recipes has been really fundamental to our success, but also the beans category's success in the UK is these chefs and influencers using them. And I think a lot of it is also around engaging people with the story of, I often draw parallels to the coffee industry because, particularly in the UK, coffees are crazy now. You can buy different coffees with different flavor profiles. But imagine that 30 years ago. Imagine someone saying, I want a single origin coffee with flavor notes of red currant and chocolate. You'd be like, what? Just buy coffee. And I think that's where we're at now, and that's what we're trying to help educate in the UK, is tell stories about actually, we select certain bean qualities before every production. For every harvest, we're tasting different beans. We're seeing which harvests have come out best, which ones are going to withstand our cooking process the best, and we're making sure it's the most delicious. So even that approach just flavor first rather than price first has helped people recognize, okay, if I spend a bit more, it's going to taste a lot better. And I think when people are reducing meat and wanting to spend, you know, that naturally the dish is going to be cheaper because you're not spending it on meat. So actually, if the center of my plate is beans, and that's what we push in our recipes, beans, star of the show, center of the plate, then I'll spend a bit more on that. And I've had a healthy plant-based meal that's meat-free, and it's ended up being less than had I had some chicken. So it's that mentality shift of, okay, I'll spend more, but it's actually, it's cheaper overall if I'm comparing it to what I would have had if I'd had meat.
I think you're helping, you know, your marketing by creating recipe books. I just saw your book out there too, which I was like, oh my God, gotta get a copy of this. So I'm sure that's, you know, part of your effort.
Yeah,
to
it's fundamental.
people more to, you know, to use beans.
Yeah.
Just to give the audience a little bit of, you know, an idea, what is the difference in price between your beans and like a regular can of beans?
Yeah, okay. So in the UK, you can buy a canned bean for like 40p. And we sell our jars, our large, you'll see a 700-gram jar for £4. So it's quite a steep, you know, we're obviously working, we're a small business. We're working on making them more accessible, exploring formats, economies of scale, but it's a big jump up. But, you know, when people try and they have kind of become immersed in the brand, they buy again, and that's what we're excited about.
That's kind of like showing the power of marketing, you know, because you would think, well, it's price, you know, everything is about price, but not. You know, there's ways to kind of premiumize something and give it more value that people, you know, will be able to go.
I think Eve's talk this morning, like recognizing the power of, you know, human feelings and emotion and how it drives behavior, and I think brands are forming now a part of an identity. You know, there are many communities there where people feel belonging. We have a community following us, and they all feel connected to us. They feel connected to why we exist. We're a very purpose-led brand, and I think that is, yeah, been key.
So, went on to product development, Michelle. When I spoke to you, I was just mind blown by some of the stuff that you're doing, you and your team are doing. I've gone as far as, you know, learning ChatGPT, and I usually kind of, you know, ask ChatGPT about everything, including, you know, what should I go eat, you know, in Cancun. But you're taking AI, artificial intelligence, to the next level, and that's using AI for product development. So can you tell us more about how you do that and, you know, the process that you use AI to create new formulations?
Actually, we don't use ChatGPT, just to clarify that. Yeah, I think that we started, I don't know, probably 6 years ago with artificial intelligence related to the food industry, just for the plant-based products. I think that in the beginning was a little difficult to understand how we can apply this AI in the food development. In this moment, we have a more big system to understand that. I think that in simple ways, we can try to understand first what is the composition of the animal product, right? For example, a milk. You have to understand in a more molecular way how it's composed, why, what is the relation between every molecule inside the milk. And I think that we have a lot of data now in the system to understand that, right? So in function of that, this molecular composition and behavior, the artificial intelligence can understand how we can replicate this behavior in the animal product, but using another components related to the plant-based ingredients, right? So we have a big data related to all this composition, the animal and the plant-based ingredients. So the intelligence can take different ingredients and mix in a specific way to recreate the final product. I think that it's important to understand that we can extract, for example, a protein for a bean. This extraction generate a different behavior of this molecule, right? So you are extracting in a physical or in a chemical way a protein, and this protein outside of their initial source, the behavior is different. So I think that the idea of the AI is to understand how this extraction also can affect the behavior of the plant-based ingredients, right? And in function of that, generate a new product just with the summary of these different ingredients. So the first stage is get a good data in the system to understand that in a molecular way. We have different experiments and analysis that we can include to understand the molecular, the physical, the sensorial profiles to every ingredient in the system. And then we have to include this in different products, right? In the beginning, we start and we mix the same composition that Giuseppe, we call it Giuseppe to our artificial intelligence. In the beginning, we start and we replicate the formulas that Giuseppe recommends us. In the beginning, it doesn't work good, actually, because the system that is the point of the AI. This need a lot of information to understand and to learn. So in function that you are recreating different experiments, different products, the intelligence can understand what happened and can be faster to the next product that you want. So if you ask me 6 years ago what happened with Giuseppe, probably was slower than we are expecting because Giuseppe doesn't have all the information. But in this moment, with different products, experiments, information, the system is better and is faster. So I think that in this moment, we use Giuseppe because it's faster and we can generate better products in a few time with another approach to the animal products, right? So I think that it's important to understand that the AI is working in all the levels, not just the technical levels as your cell phone or your laptop, also is including in different products as the food industry. So I think that it's very innovative, understand the product development with the AI because it's faster and you can create better products too.
Michelle, how many products have you guys developed so far with using this technology?
Yeah, in this moment in Chile we have more SQAs obviously, but we are creating burgers, milks, chicken burgers, ice cream also we have in Chile. So when the time is passing, we are creating more and more products because we have a more biggest system to create this, so it's faster. So in the beginning, our first product was the nut mayonnaise. So we created, but in this moment, I don't know, in 2 years, we create all the other products. So it's very fast if you compare with the conventional process to develop products.
You know, I wonder if can AI also predict consumer perception of a product? Do you guys do that too?
This is a confidential. No, but yeah, I think that with AI you can also include this information. So you produce the product, obviously, but also then you have to taste it. Right. So we taste it and we say, okay, I think that this formula, for example, a burger, the firmness is not the best. So you can include that evaluation in the system and the system can understand that too. So they recommend that change a little the formula. But I think that the main point when we generate a product is the taste. I think that we have like a pyramid, and the first point is the taste. Right. You can have the better nutritional product, but the flavor is bad, no one's gonna buy it. True. Yeah. So I think that in function of that, yeah, we have a lot of support to an expert sensory team related to this, and we can include the consumer information too for our products.
Very cool. Jose, I think I met you a couple of years ago, or maybe it was 3 years ago, one of these conferences.
3 years ago, yeah, one of the congress.
We might have been talking about new product innovation and product development, and I just tried YOLO outside, and it's amazing. It's an amazing product. If you guys haven't tried it, it really is really good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So, you know, my question to you is, I talked to you a little about the development of this product, but can you tell us a little more? Because I know you have, it's not just the development of product, but there is some community, example that you've done in the supply chain there that I think is very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, Juan, thank you for asking. Actually, our starting point was pretty much in the same as Nautical, the research. So a couple months ago, and also because of this particular like spaces like BeanCon, we got the inspiration and also the information. We went to the market to do some research, and we just follow a couple trends. And of course, that the wellness is there, right? The convenience, but also the emotional components. So we wanted to create a product which tastes great, like ours. I mean, we combine the perfection of the beans with real cacao, with 100% real cacao. And when we tried Jolo at the first time, that was like boom, that was like crazy. But we wanted to, add the social components that the market trends told us that a brand has to have. So for that particular case, we said that we got the inspiration from the sustainable farming, which is our US driving farming, to support and harvesting hope to communities. And for that case, we partner with the National Federation of Cacao Producers in Colombia. They run some social programs that we were interested to hear about, and we met with them. We visit, the farmers. And one of the issues that we are facing in Colombia, which is not new, is the drugs and the cartels problems, right? And the thing is that some farmers are in like red regions, like difficult regions with violence, with drugs are happening. So we were interested in this program, and we joined to support Fede Cacao to help farmers to shift from the illegal crops as cocaine to cacao. And they also have other programs with children, what we are into, and also with women who have lost some siblings because of the drug violence. And we said, this is what we need. So we are pleased to announce our partnership with Fede Cacao here. And today we are officially launching Jolo as an international brand. So I think we just have this, whole pillars that food trends, global food trends are telling us to have. And having beans as the main point where we start, I think it's great.
Yeah. I think I understand now why I'm addicted to your product now. Maybe there's some leftover. Are you planning on talking about in your marketing plan and launch plan? Is your plan to talk about that you're working with these farmers?
Yes, definitely. With Fede Cacao, we are collecting this kind of stories. We are going to build a nice storytelling to tell to the world what this national federation is doing, because we believe that it's great. It's dangerous and it's great. One of the targets that we have set is to achieve more than 25,000 hectares of illegal crops to legal crops in 15 years. 25,000 hectares in 15 years. So yes, the storytelling here is very important, and we offer Fede Cacao Jolo as a platform, and also having USDVC supporting the project, it's very important to tell everybody the current situation and the solution as well, right? Because we are part now of the solution.
And there's no fears that the farmers will say, hey, we're making more money going and growing.
It is. I mean, it's there. That problem is there. And actually, Fede Cacao told us that it's a progressive program. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they go to the farm with the farmers and immediately they just shift. Right. No, it's a progressive program. And of course that they do it very carefully because it's dangerous. I mean, it's violence there. It's dangerous.
I commend you guys for doing that. I think it's amazing what you're doing there in the community. I know we couldn't get Chef Ali online, but she's amazing. The little I know about her, because I talked to her for a little bit, she's had over 30 years, she's basically worked as a cook, as a chef. And what she does is she works with plant-based ingredients, especially beans, but she uses everything. So she has this thing about making recipes with zero waste. So she uses not just the bean, but the stem, everything in the plant. Somehow she has to include it into the recipes. So, I'm encouraged I'm sure the information will be shared with everybody. And, if you're interested in learning a little more about, how she is developing recipes with zero waste, then please reach out to her. So one last maybe rapid question here as we're wrapping up, and then we go into questions. Very quickly, so what's next, This year and next year, what's in the pipeline for each one of you guys?
I would say for me, this is I love innovating products. It's my favorite thing to do. So when someone asks me what's next, I start shaking because my job right now is to sell the beans. So that not sharing our innovation pipeline at this point in time.
Amelia?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to convert more people into bean lovers, and we'll do whatever we can, whether that's through new products, new markets, new cookbooks, whatever.
Awesome. Can't wait to take them out.
Yeah, I think that elevated food. We are generated mimic products, and it's fine. But I think that the consumer needs more than that. Specific nutritional aspects, more digestibility, a better price. I think that is the next step.
I know you just started, but
for us, I think, as I said, we're launching the brand here, so we're ready to ship everywhere. And because of we are competing in the snack industry, and you know how that industry is, the innovation is part of our core values as a brand. So, and working with premium quality ingredients as US beans, you're able to create new forms, right? We are testing already sticks, right, for kids, perhaps. We test already Jolo as a cereal and develop perfectly, behave perfectly. Yeah. And also we recognize the importance of the packaging. So if you notice, it's pretty much like a small package because we're taking care of the convenience part. But I think that we can also innovate in that way too.
What's next for you, Juan?
Well, I'm actually concentrating more on beans now. So initially when I launched the product, even if you notice the name of it, it says Peanut Puff. And I did that because at the time when we launched, there wasn't really a product like it. And I figured it was a little more attractive to say Peanut Puff than Bean Puff. But what we have found out, as we have evolved, is that beans is what we really need to be talking about, no peanuts. That's the reason why Whole Foods, didn't bring us in the past. they wanted us to talk about beans, not about peanuts. So this year, we're doing that. We're changing that, and we're actually going to capitalize on that trend of plant protein, and we're going to be calling the product a protein puff made with beans as the first ingredient. So that's our thing, and that's where we're going. Thank you for the question. So we have about 5 minutes, I think, for questions from the audience. So does anybody have any questions for these guys or myself?
Oh, there is one.
Yeah. Thanks for the presenters. Maybe each and everyone may give us, who are their major clients? Is it the millennial? Is it the advanced age? Is it the people sensitive to their nutrition? So if you have an idea of whom you really target, that can give us an idea of the marketing aspect.
I'll start. I would say our target market is a younger millennial consumer that's plant-based, and they're interested in trying new foods. They're kind of moving back to exactly what plant-based was never supposed to be plant-based. It was supposed to be whole food plant-based, and that is really kind of the consumers that we're drawing to, and continue to build that through our portfolio and our plates.
Yeah, ours is it's very interesting. We have a huge demographic that are kind of older, middle-aged women, and a lot of their dietary concerns are around, cholesterol. They care about health. They like cooking from scratch, so they are a big customer of ours. And then similarly, like women between 25 and 40 who care about health. And because women in the UK do most of the grocery shopping, that's obviously that's good.
Yeah, I think that in our case, I think that the millennials and kids also are our first client in this moment. But I think that probably in the next years, we need to develop products for specific stages in your life, right? For example, Chile, it's a very old country, actually. We don't have child in this moment. So I think that, we have to develop with the specific nutrition aspects, depending of the age. Probably, we can involve different stages, but with a specific nutritional aspects or including sensorial aspects, right? Probably millennials are looking for new flavor, new texture, but for kids, you prefer to more nutritional aspects, also for old people, so probably depending of that.
It is a good question, actually, because when we were in the developing process, we wanted to think about in one specific target market, but we couldn't. I mean, the endless possibilities that we have with beans, it's amazing, right? So in our case, I will say to respond to those emotional needs, I think it's one of the best things that we can do. And in our case, we're having this, I will say like a happy ingredient, which is chocolate. I mean, when you think about chocolate is like fun. It's like remember your childhood. So for us, I think it's respond to those emotional needs. It doesn't matter which generation you are. We can do it with beans and chocolate. Yeah.
And in our case, our brand, we're targeting an active lifestyle, right? So normally our biggest demographic is actually older, probably because they've seen me on TV, and I'm older. So I'm like the face to the brand. But it's an old family product. We see, kids enjoying it as well as older folks. But our main target is what we're trying to do is get you to be more active by consuming a product that has good source of protein, fibers, low glycemic index, carbohydrates. So it plays well with the whole being active and sports. So.
All right. Well.
Good.
Yeah, I think let's give a hand to our panelists, please.
Please stay.
Thank you. It was great. Thank you, Juan.